Hello, my name is Clara. I'm 25 years old. Today, I want to share a story from my life. It is a story of sadness but also of hope and growth. When I was a little girl, my family seemed perfect. I was 7 years old, and our house was always full of laughter. My dad, Mom, and I lived in a small, cozy house with a beautiful garden. My dad loved planting flowers, and every weekend, we would spend time outside, watering the plants and playing games. Dad had a warm smile that could make anyone feel happy. He used to call me his little sunshine. Every night, he would tell me bedtime stories. My favorite was about a brave little bird who learned to fly despite being scared. Dad always told me, "Clara, you can do anything if you believe in yourself." But as time went on, things began to change. Slowly, the laughter in our house grew quieter. My parents started arguing more often. At first, the arguments were small. They whispered late at night when they thought I was asleep. But I could hear them through the walls. I didn't understand why they were upset. I remember asking my dad one day, "Why are you and Mom angry?" He smiled and said, "Don't worry, Clara. Everything will be okay." I believed him because he was my dad. He was my hero. I thought nothing could ever change our happy family. But I was wrong. The arguments grew louder as the months passed. My parents didn't try to hide them anymore. They would argue during dinner, and I would sit there, staring at my plate, pretending I couldn't hear. One night, I heard my mom shout, "I can't do this anymore." Her voice was full of pain. Dad replied, "Then maybe we shouldn't." His words sent chills down my spine. I didn't know what he meant, but it sounded final, like a door closing. The next morning, I woke up to find my mom sitting in the kitchen. Her eyes were red, and she looked tired. I hugged her and asked, "Where's Dad?" She said he had gone for a walk. But her voice trembled, and I could tell something wasn't right. The days that followed were strange. Dad stopped joining us for meals. He spent more time in the garage or outside. When I tried to talk to him, he seemed distant, like his mind was somewhere else. It hurt to see him that way because I missed the dad who used to laugh and play with me. One evening, I heard my parents having a serious talk. They were sitting in the living room, and I was hiding behind the door, listening. "We can't keep pretending," Dad said. "This isn't good for Clara, or for us." Mom didn't reply right away. Then she said softly, "I don't want to hurt her. She's just a child." I didn't understand everything they said, but I knew something big was about to happen. And I was scared. It was a sunny Saturday morning. I woke up early, excited to spend the day with my dad. But when I went downstairs, I saw him standing by the door with a suitcase. My mom stood nearby, her arms crossed, looking sad but determined. "What's going on?" I asked, my voice shaking. Dad knelt down and held my hands. "Clara," he said gently, "sometimes grown-ups make decisions that are hard to understand. But I want you to know that I love you very much." Tears filled my eyes. "Are you leaving?" I asked, even though I already knew the answer. He nodded. "I have to, sunshine. But this doesn't mean I don't care about you. You're my little girl, and you always will be." I hugged him tightly, hoping he would change his mind. But he didn't. He picked up his suitcase and walked out the door. I ran to the window and watched him get into his car. As he drove away, I felt like a part of my heart went with him. That day was the hardest day of my life. I kept hoping he would come back, but he didn't. The house felt empty without him. His laughter, his stories, his hugs, they were all gone. And I didn't know how to fill the hole he left behind. After Dad left, everything felt different. The house was quieter, but not in a good way. It was the kind of silence that made you feel lonely. Mom tried her best to keep things normal, but I could see she was hurting too. I missed Dad every single day. I missed how he would tuck me in at night and tell me stories. I missed hearing him hum his favorite songs while working in the garden. I even missed his silly jokes that didn't always make sense. At school, I tried to act like everything was okay. But inside, I felt like a balloon that had lost all its air. Some days, I didn't feel like playing with my friends. I would sit by myself, drawing pictures of my family the way it used to be. One day, my teacher, Mrs. Thompson, noticed I was sad. She sat down beside me and asked, "Is everything all right, Clara?" I wanted to tell her, but I didn't know how to put my feelings into words. So I just nodded and said, "I'm okay." But I wasn't okay. At night, I would cry into my pillow, wondering if Dad missed me as much as I missed him. I wondered if he thought about me when he went to sleep or if he was happy without us. The questions swirled in my mind, but I had no answers. Over time, I realized that life had to go on, even though Dad wasn't with us. Mom became my rock. She worked hard to take care of me and always made sure I felt loved. One day, she sat me down and said, "Clara, I know things have been hard. But I want you to know that it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to miss your dad. And it's okay to talk about your feelings." Her words comforted me. I started writing letters to Dad, even though I didn't send them. In my letters, I told him about school, my friends, and how much I missed him. Writing helped me feel connected to him, even though he wasn't there. I also found comfort in drawing and reading. Books became my escape. They took me to magical worlds where everything was possible. And through reading, I discovered stories of other kids who faced challenges but found ways to overcome them. These stories gave me hope. Slowly, I began to heal. I learned that it was okay to smile and laugh again. I started spending more time with my friends and even joined the school art club. Mom and I created new traditions, like movie nights and baking cookies on Sundays. These small moments brought us closer and made our house feel warm again. Now that I'm older, I look back on that time with a mix of emotions. Losing Dad was one of the hardest things I've ever been through. But it also taught me important lessons about strength, love, and forgiveness. I still have questions that may never be answered. Why did Dad leave? Did he ever think about coming back? Did he realize how much I needed him? These questions linger in my heart, but I've learned to accept that some things are beyond my control. One thing I've learned is that family is not just about who is present. It's about love, support, and the effort we make to care for each other. Mom became my hero. She showed me what it means to be strong and to never give up, even when life feels unfair. Sometimes, I think about the brave little bird from Dad's bedtime stories. Just like that bird, I've learned to spread my wings and fly, even when I'm scared. I've learned that it's okay to face challenges because they make us stronger. To anyone listening to my story, I want you to know that it's okay to feel pain. It's okay to cry. But it's also important to keep going, to find hope, and to believe in yourself. Life isn't always easy, but it's full of opportunities to grow and become stronger. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it helps you learn English and reminds you that no matter what happens, you have the strength to overcome it. Keep learning, keep growing, and always believe in yourself.